everyone, my name is Lukman. My metric number is 23DLS20F2009 and I am from DLS1A. Today, in our presentation, we will cover a topic about top 10 weird food delicacies from around the world. Traveling is often about trying the unusual and attempting to experience a different culture in the country you're visiting. One of the best ways to do this is to try the foods locals eat. Starting with only the slightly unusual, we will work our way towards some truly bizarre dishes from around the world, some of which might even make you feel a bit uneasy or perhaps a little hungry. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, the first one on the list is bird nest soup from China. You wouldn't necessarily think a bird nest would be edible, but the Chinese use swift nest to make this soup known as the caviar of the East. Right now, you're probably imagining a nest made out of twigs and leaves, but swiftlets make their nest predominantly out of saliva. It's something in the saliva of the bird that makes it have this unique gelatinous rubbery texture, and it's one of the most expensive animal products consumed by humans. Alright, the next one we have fried tarantulas from Cambodia. The incy-wincy spider climb out the water spout. If you suffer from arachnophobia, you probably don't want to try eating this egg-leg monster. They're not tiny little house spiders, they're great big tarantulas, and you can buy them from street vendors in Squan, Cambodia. They're fried whole legs, fangs, and all. Another one, it's pufferfish from Japan. You've gotta be careful with this delicacy or you might end up in the morgue. The deadly pufferfish or fugu is the ultimate delicacy in Japan, even though its skin and inside contain the poisonous toxin tetrodotoxin, which is 1,000 times stronger than cyanide. 15 people died in Thailand when the fish was declared illegal and people start dyeing it pink and passing it off as salmon. Number 4. Fertilized eggs from the Philippines. This Filipino dish called balut isn't unlike a chocolate Kinder Surprise. These eggs harbor a surprise, although it's not a plastic toy, but rather a chance to eat your chicken and your egg at the same time. Fertilized eggs are boiled just before they're due to hatch, so your yolk oozes out, followed by a chicken or a duck. They are cooked when the fetus is everywhere from 17 days to 21 days, depending on your preference. Although when the egg is older, the fetus begin to have a break, claws, bones, and feathers. Coming up, the number 5 on the list, which is maggot cheese from Sardinia. Yes, a maggot in a food. The Sardinian cheese is riddled with insect larvae. Kasumazu means rotten cheese and is most commonly referred to as maggot cheese. It's now been banned for health reasons but can still be found for sale on the black market in Sardinia and the other parts of Italy. The sheep's milk cheese is basically pecorino, which has had the larva of the cheese fly, like I say, introduced into it. Fermentation occurs as the larva digests the cheese fat and the texture becomes very soft with some liquid seeping out. The cheese has to be eaten when the maggots are still alive because when they are dead, it is considered to be toxic. Sounds disgusting to me.
Hello and good morning audience. My name is Muhammad Rafiq bin Hermanto. My metric number is 23DLS20F2025 and I am from class DLS1A. We move on to the number 6. Number 6 is surströmming from Sweden. Surströmming is a fermented Baltic herring and can be found on supermarket shelves all over the Sweden. Although you probably won't see it next to the IKEA meatballs. Certain airlines consider the pressurized cans to be potentially dangerous like fireworks and explosives. The herring is caught in spring when it is just about to spawn and is fermented in barrels for 1 until 2 months before it is tinned in a can where the fermentation continues for several months. For number 7, we go to the live octopus, Korea. Sanakji is a raw dish consisting of live octopus typical in Korea. Eating live octopus is a serious challenge. It is beyond the mental challenge of trying to get your head around eating something that is still alive. But there's there is a physical difficulty of fighting with your food as the tentacles stick to any surface they touch. Furthermore, in number 8, we have excrement coffee from Indonesia. You might want to think twice if someone offers you a cup of this coffee when you pop round to their house in Indonesia, or maybe not. Kopi Luwak is the rarest and the most expensive gourmet coffee in the world. It sounds divine, right? But it's actually not. Kopi Luwak is actually made from the excrement of an Indonesian cat-like creature called the luwak. So for the number 9, we have puffin hut from Iceland. Sometimes it's also referred to as the clown of the ocean or sea parrot. The puffin, with its colorful beak and clumsy behavior, is considered an adorable bird. The sight of a puffin flapping its wings and jumping from a cliff to generate enough lift to become an airborne is enough to make anyone go ah. In Iceland, however, these seabirds have been a source of sustenance for Icelanders on the island for centuries. And now we are finally made to the number 10. At number 10, we have snake wine from Vietnam. Fancy a different sort of wine? A bouquet of reptile with some notes of venom, perhaps? Snake wine is a rice wine bottled with a venomous snake. Snake wine has a slightly pink color like a nice rose. It is because it contains snake blood in there. Snake wine is believed to have a medicinal purposes, but is probably more useful as a conversation piece than anything else. So we have finally covered all the 10 weird foods in the world. Let's jump to the conclusion. In conclusion, all these weird food may not be everyone's taste, but these foods are considered weird and bizarre or even dangerous to them outsiders. These weird food are also considered as delicacies in their countries. Although eating these foods might seem like a form of extreme dining to us, they are tasty every day for a special occasion, fare for the people who eat them.
That's it. Now let's move on to the Q&A session. So Rafiq, I have a question for you. If you were given one of these weird foods, which one would you like to eat and why?
Oh, I don't dare to eat any of those food because I don't want to risk my health over some unappealing food. Like people said, it is better safe than sorry. Okay Rekman, I got a question for you too. Do you think these foods can be an attraction for tourism?
Yes, foreign tourists always want to try something new. When they go around the world, they always look for something that they have never eaten before, so this weird food might be their choice.
Alright, there are some values that we find from this topic. The first value that we can get from this topic is to take care of our health. Although these foods might seem appealing to some people, they also can be dangerous and bring harm to our health. So just like people say, it's better safe than sorry.
The next value is about respecting other cultural food. We may not like some of this gross looking food, but it doesn't mean that we should hate them. It's because these food have been a traditional delicacy in different cultures around the world.
Before we end our discussion here, we would like to thank everyone who is watching this presentation. So I hope you guys do enjoy our presentation about the weird food in the world.